Hi everyone, this is Slash and Cut and I'll be bringing you a tutorial on the Helix aerial to 0G Chaplin. I'm going to explain 3 variations. There's more, but I'm going to stick to these 3 for now. There might be a part 2 where I explain more, but 3 will do for now. I'll start off with the easiest one, just to get a feel for the way I explain things. Just a few words I need to explain that I'll use later on too, and then move upwards and end with the most difficult one. So yeah, let's start off with the easiest one. Okay, let's start off by explaining the first variation. The first variation is very straightforward. It's this one. So with these type of tricks you only have to keep in mind 3 things: the aerial, the initial aerial, so the horizontal aerial, the thing that I like to call the hook. So the hook is the moment where you grab your knife or let the knife land on one finger, and then the continuation in the 0G Chaplin. So in this case it's a very straightforward aerial. It's just a horizontal outward aerial, I guess. So you do it like this, like it's the same as doing it right-handed. So it's an outward aerial. Let it land on a finger. So the initial hook, and this should be very easy since you're changing direction. So you throw it that way, throw it outward, and then you spin inwardly. So that's, since you're changing directions, you really like push your knife, you let it run into your finger, and you can immediately create momentum without risking dropping your knife or letting it fly off your finger, and then you have your 0G Chaplin. This is very straightforward. It's basically the same variation as the horizontal, the vertical axis aerial to reverse Chaplin. So this, no idea how this looks from this perspective, but hope it makes sense. So always keep these things in mind: your initial aerial, then your hook catching it, and then the way you can go immediately into your Chaplin. And those are the key elements for the horizontal aerial to 0G Chaplin. Okay, let's move on to the second variation. The second variation is this one. Oh, let me see if we can do it properly. So this one is a bit more intricate, but still really straightforward. You can also do this from a start from a what's that called again? Behind the 8 ball. It's kind of the same. So start off by the initial aerial. With this, it's a rotation. So you have to keep in mind that it actually changes, like yeah, it does like 1 rotation or 1.5 rotation depending on how you start. So you've got your initial aerial, and then you have your hook. Your hook, you with this trick, you hold your hand, like your palm, open upward or a bit sideways. So you have your aerial, and then you catch. You don't catch your knife like this. No, that won't work. But you just catch. You hook your knife, well, with your palm up or sideways. Same principle of the corner applies. So when you hook it, you have to make sure that your handles are like in this position, because if they're further away, you will just push your knife away. And then it's just same principle of but after the hook you twist your wrist, so you turn your hand around to make it a 0G Chaplin. So this isn't strictly a real go into a 0G Chaplin, since you have that initial twist, and that also makes the trick very easy since there isn't like a direction switch, but yeah, you still hook it differently than going straight into a 0G Chaplin. So if you do this trick fluently, it should look like this. And you kind of create the illusion that you go straight into a 0G Chaplin, but actually you just sketch your handle like in a vertical axis and not really in a horizontal axis. But I think it still counts as going into a 0G Chaplin. If you have difficulty with this trick, the easy way to ease yourself into this horizontal aerial is doing a Y2K aerial into a 0G Chaplin. Knives Out originally called this trick the fish hook, so you you hold your safe handle and do a Y2K aerial. Let the knife land vertically on your finger like this, and then go into a 0G Chaplin. So should look something like this. Once you get a hang of it, try throwing this aerial each time by twisting your wrist a bit more or holding it a bit more horizontally. So you first throw your aerial like this, then throw it like this, and eventually you will have a horizontal aerial, and you can do this trick. And then of course, once you get a hang of it, you can easily combo it into any rollover combo. So that's the second variation. Last thing I want to explain, the third and more difficult variation, which looks something along the lines of this. Hard to do when I'm talking. This variation is difficult because there isn't like a change of direction, or there isn't like a movement from overhand to underhand, so the hooking part is very tricky. You push the same direction as you throw the aerial, which means that with the momentum you easily push away your handle and you just don't catch the knife. This trick takes a lot of practice, but there's an easy way of learning this, and that's the main thing that I'm going to explain here. The easy way, or the trick to learn, is just start off by holding the knife like this, swing open your handle, and what you're going to try to do is do a very slightly mini aerial, starting with your index on the outside of the safe handle. It's very key, and then try to go immediately into a 0G rollover. So you're gonna really try to make the aerial as tiny as possible. So, and try to immediately put your finger in as closely in the corner as you can, and then just immediately wait, and don't bump into your other hand, of course, and then immediately go into a Chaplin. Might even need a slight catch with your index finger, but it's key that you get like a feel for that trick. So just slide aerial and catch it and go into a rollover. Slide aerial, catch it, rollover. And that's basically the same thing as the aerial to 0G Chaplin. It just doesn't look very right. So it's just a small aerial, and you'll see it's very manipulated, so it's very stupid looking. But it's the same thing as what the other flippers do. So the same movement, you need to make your aerial very small. You just throw it and slide aerial, catch it like that. If you want to make it look more spectacular, you just need to change your aerial a bit. So try to throw your knife a bit more to the side and make more arm movement, and that way it looks like more like a proper 0G aerial. So that was the easy variant, and then I'm going to see if I can make it look a bit more spectacular. Like this. It's actually the same thing as this aerial, but it looks more spectacular since the aerial is a bit more bigger. So, and that's the key thing of learning this variation. So yeah, that's my tutorial. I hope it helped a bit. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask.